Hey, my name is Martin Benson, and I work as a branding and marketing consultant for actors. If you're new here, be sure to click the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you get updates each week when I put out new tips and tricks. So let's talk about why actors need to have some sort of side hustle or some sort of steady income source to help them in their acting careers. I want to start off by telling you a ridiculous story about the time when I made my first proposal. So the first ever time that I was going to do this, I had been shooting headshots and weddings and events and stuff for a long time. I mean, it might have not headshots. I probably only did that for like a few months, but I had been shooting weddings and events for years. And most of my experience had been working with one-on-one like clients, like people who are going to get married. I would go and sit down with them and talk. Now, this proposal that I'm talking about was not a wedding proposal. It was a proposal to shoot headshots for an office for like 30 people and to also do, I think, some sort of video project for them. Now, this was back, I think, in 2011, maybe 2010. And I was invited to go to an office in New Jersey. And I was living in Manhattan at the time. So this was like a big deal for me because this project, I mean, they wanted a lot of stuff done, so I could have technically charged a high rate. So they invited me to go, and I was super excited, but also really, really nervous because I was like, if I get this, that will be huge because I don't remember the name of the company, but I'm like, I could put this company on my website and talk about how I did this big job and stuff. Well, I went to this event. I mean, I figured out how to get there. I had to take like public transportation and like then get like driven there from it was like pretty ridiculous. And this was before the days of Uber. And anyway, I showed up to the office and I was a mess. It was terrible. I had not done my homework properly on their company. I knew vaguely about how to do a proposal, but I did not really know what I could offer them. And it was so bad. And I was so nervous the whole time. And I remember like I was sweating at one point and because it was in the summer and stuff. And at the end of the story, I didn't get the job. And I remember sending them this email that night saying, and I quote this out of memory, which is how bad it was. I said, "Sorry for my apparent lack of control during our meeting today." I have no idea what I was thinking by sending that email, but they did not respond to it and I did not get anything. I did wind up even sending a follow-up and saying, hey, just wanted to check in and see, and they didn't respond to my follow-up either, even though they had been emailing with me at first, so it wasn't like I had the wrong email address. So that was really, really embarrassing. And the number one contributing factor to why that proposal went so poorly was the fact that I was so nervous about it. It was like, if I get this will be huge for me. And I was worried and freaking out about it. And my nervousness made me do a bunch of idiotic things that completely got my proposal tossed out. And a lot of actors actually experience a similar phenomenon when they're going in for auditions, especially the bigger, more important auditions. You go in and you're like, oh my gosh, if I get this, and then something happens and unconsciously you sabotage or screw yourself over, and of course you don't get picked for the role or even for the callback. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. And that is the reason why starting a business or a side hustle or a small freelancing thing is so important. And the reason is because when you have money that you're sitting on, it becomes easy to not feel desperate, okay? These days, I do proposals all the time. Companies contact me, they're like, oh, we have 50, we even have 100 people that need headshots, and it's a huge multi-thousand, sometimes five-figure job, like $10,000 or something that we can do. But the reason that I don't worry and get freaked out and nervous about it is because fortunately I've built up a business that has steady income. And so when you have steady income, what we're going to talk about soon, you don't feel like you need the job. And that non-neediness, that sense of confidence and calm when you go in for the meeting somehow it just seems to make people want you more. Like the fact that you don't need them and you could walk away from it and not be screwed over, like you could leave an audition and not worry about it because you've got plenty of money coming in and you know that there's another audition down the line for something. It makes people want you more, and something changes in the way that you deliver and the way that you connect with people and stuff, that it just makes you feel really, really relaxed. Now, in addition to helping you audition better, having either a secondary income source or plenty of money to fall back on also obviously makes it way easier for you to invest in your marketing materials. So your headshots, which, sometimes they cost $1,000 if you're paying for a really well-known photographer. Your reel, some actors like to shoot scenes for their reels, which can easily cost $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 depending on how much they need to shoot. Obviously, you can invest in classes or hire coaches. All of these things become way easier when you have money, and that's why this is so important. So now I want to outline something called the baskets of income, okay? And I'm sure that you've heard of the saying, don't put all of your eggs in one basket, right? Well, recently with the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs. And unfortunately, all of their eggs were in one basket, and that basket was their primary job. That is your first income basket. There's 5 that I'm going to outline. But your first income basket is your job. And if that's the only place where you have money, that's definitely a problem, because if you lose that job, you're gonna be screwed, Like, what are you gonna do? Luckily we had the unemployment situation for this, but so many people didn't have any money to fall back on. Your job is your first income basket. And whether that's, a part-time job or a full-time job, whatever job you have that's designed to sort of support your acting career as you work your way up in the industry, it's fine. That's your primary income source. Now, your second basket, your second income basket, is obviously your acting career. Obviously, eventually we want to switch those, or we want to kind of combine them together. But for most actors, their second income source is from the jobs that they book acting. And typically, they're gonna be sporadic, they're gonna be lower paid as you're beginning, but that's fine, because those little extra amounts of money can kind of add to your overall thing. And if you lose your main job, but you've still got acting work coming in, well, that's awesome. You still have some sort of money. Now, your third income basket is from savings, interest, and investments. Many actors don't have a ton of money to start saving up or investing in the market. Some do. If you have a secondary, your supporting job makes a lot of money, then you might be able to put some money into different allocations, like in the market and in a high yield savings account. But that is a basket that you should be considering. You should aim to always, as they say, pay yourself first, which means pick a certain amount of money that's going into savings. And I don't want you to think of it as savings. I want you to think of it as paying yourself for the future, okay? Because it is you. It's not like you're putting your money away and you can't get access to it and stuff. You're putting the money away to protect yourself for the future. And so savings, save like 10% of your income or more, ideally, if you can. And then slowly over time, as you grow that, you're going to start to notice that you're getting some extra income coming in from interest, which usually is like very low, like a couple of percentage points or less. And then especially like investments. So if you eventually save up like $20,000 and you put like 15,000 of that into an investment account like Vanguard or something, you could get like 5, 6, 7, even like 10% returns depending on how the market is doing. And, over time, an investment of like $20,000 can easily grow into like $300,000 or $400,000 over the course of like 20 or 30 years from compound interest. So that can actually be a very significant place. Even if you added no money to it, like $20,000 can grow very significantly over the years. So that's why it's really important. Plus, if you lost your job and you lost your acting, because you have your eggs in a third basket, you've got some savings that you can fall back on that can help you pay certain bills and get you through those difficult times. Now we're going to talk about your fourth income basket, and that is a secondary job. Okay, now you've got your primary job that supports you, and you've got your acting, which is kind of like your secondary income basket. Then you have your savings and stuff, third income basket. Your fourth income basket might be a second job. So some people work part-time at one job and part-time at another job. Some people who really need money work full-time somewhere, and then they have another part-time or even full-time job. Now, obviously, if you have a secondary job, that's going to eat into a ton of your free time, and it's going to make it really difficult for you to pursue your acting, which is why I recommend getting rid of the secondary job and instead focusing on income basket number 5, which is what we're going to talk more about in the coming videos, which is a side hustle or a freelance business. What's awesome about a freelance business, your fifth income basket, is that you can make a significant amount of money and have a lot of flexibility of time, and also only take 5 to 10 hours per week doing it. And when I say significant amount of money, I mean you can make $1,000 a month pretty easily. You could even make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. I actually know some actors who earn $7,000 or $8,000 a month by working as freelance real estate brokers. And they do stuff maybe 20 hours a week or less, and then they pursue their acting career. And they're rolling it in with real estate. So it's totally possible if you've got the right mindset and you're willing to put in upfront work. The truth is, having a side income can be really, really helpful, and it's not actually as difficult as you might think. So I'm gonna outline 5 simple ideas that you can easily pursue to start earning money on the side. And I'll also explain how much money you could make with relatively little effort each month. Website design. You could do this from home and pretty easily charge between $500 and $1,000 per client. All you need is 1 client per month, and that's a significant amount of money. But think about if you had 2 or 3, and that's pretty easy to get. You could be making a ton of money off of website design and not have to leave your home if it's a pandemic situation, or you're just wanting to work from anywhere and you like to travel and you've got a good laptop. Website design is totally something you can get into. But if you're not highly technical, let's go on to number 2, writing copy. You can actually get pretty good at writing and learn how to tell stories and just write out simple things that people connect with, and easily charge small businesses or other freelancers $500, even sometimes $1,000 to write out all of the information that's on their website. You write out the about page, you write out the little descriptions of what their products and services are, and if you write things in a compelling way, people will actually pay for that. So $500 to $1,000 per client. Again, you only need a couple of clients per month and you're making plenty of money. Idea number 3 is video editing. Just like copy and doing websites, you could also do this from home pretty easily. I know plenty of video editors who charge $300 or more per job if it's a relatively small job. And then if it's a bigger job, you could charge a lot more. So to make $1,000 a month there, you only need 3 or 4 clients and you're pretty much set. Again, video editing, if you like being creative and you want to work with people who are also in the industry, video editing is a really good, simple idea. Idea number 4 is photography. You can easily shoot headshots of other actors. You could shoot on-set photography of films and other projects. You could even shoot weddings and events if you want. Each of these you could charge anywhere from $150 to $1,000 or more per client. I mean, I know some wedding photographers who charge $5,000 or $6,000 a client. You only need 1 client every 2 months to make $3,000 a month. Or think of if you did a wedding every weekend, you'd be rolling in the dough, right? So photography, if you enjoy taking pictures of things, You don't need to be an expert. I'm going to talk about later on a story about how I created my own photography business and never having even taken a single formalized course for it. So photography is a great way to earn some income on the side and help people out with their challenges. Finally, you could also coach other actors. If you're good at something specific, like if you're really great at auditioning or you're really great at on-camera acting, whatever specific area of expertise you have, you can actually charge, and clients will pay anywhere from $50 to $100, $200, sometimes even $300 for a session. And the bonus with coaching other actors on their technique is, well, I mean, obviously you don't really need to buy any equipment for that, but even more so, there's recurring revenue, because lots of times if an actor finds someone who really helps them and does a really good job, really helps them with that challenge, what happens? They like the person and they want to work with them again to focus on specific scenes or whatever it is that they're preparing for. So coaching other actors is really a great way to earn some extra money for yourself on the side. Now, of course, each of these ideas that I outlined does require a significant amount of work up front to really get the ball rolling. But think of it this way. In 3 to 6 months from now of doing a good amount of upfront work, you could easily have an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month coming in, and you can pretty quickly quit whatever full-time or part-time job you have, and then that'll give you even more money to work on building your freelance business while giving you plenty of money to invest into your acting career and a flexible schedule that will easily allow you to attend whatever auditions you want. Now, don't forget to subscribe and definitely hit that like button. In next Monday's video, I'm going to explain the exact 16 steps, step by step, how I went from basically brand new to this industry, never having shot a headshot in my life, not having anybody in my family who was involved in the film and television industry, nobody who ever did photography. I went from absolute zero to over 120 paying clients per month. And I'm gonna outline exactly how I did it, the step-by-step process, so that you can follow the same process yourself and really start growing from whatever little freelance idea you have into a significant source of income that will really help you feel much more secure in your acting career, so that when you go out on auditions, you don't feel nervous or worried anymore, and also so that you can buy whatever, marketing materials you need, like headshots and all of that stuff. When you have a side income that's secure, it makes it so much easier to become a successful actor. Oh, and one other thing. If you're an actor looking to book more work, you might consider checking out my free mini course called The Practical Performer. In it, I outline basically things that actors pay business of acting coaches thousands of dollars for. You'll learn exactly how to create a brand or how to find your brand. You'll also learn the 7 key ways to find paid acting work. And you'll even learn how to create relationships with casting directors out of nothing, people who you've never met before, in a really simple, authentic way that does not feel spammy or salesy at all. So check out the course. All you have to do is visit martinbenson.com/mini-course. And otherwise, I will see you next week in our next video.